back again. The topic, deliverance, God's offer to us. We've been pointing out that there is a conversation that is going on between God and myself, and therefore God and yourself, which you're entitled to be tuned into, just like I was entitled to it. And we have now a continuation of God's questioning of us as to whether or not we are wishing to change, to be able to abandon the ways of this human existence. And we continue with verse number 106 of August 20th, 2000. God states, "Make way, my hearts, for my beloved, which is the you that is the beloved of God." The you that's the beloved of God. He wants you to recover the awareness of that, the beingness of that. That's what deliverance is. You're to be delivered, your true self. You're being delivered the awareness and the ability to recover your true self, which only has blessings to it, only has loving blessings to it. And God says to you, "Make way, my hearts, for my beloved, which is made of me forevermore." Your eternal soul, your eternal being. You don't have to worry about death. Nothing. You are an eternal being, beloved of God, who has all of God's gifts that He would give to you as His creator of you. "Make way, my hearts, for my beloved, made of me forevermore." And now he goes, this is what's going to happen. "Manifest, my Son, the mind of me, for solutions to the morass made of thee." I'll read it again. This is heavy stuff. But if you're ready for this, you're on a roll. "Manifest, my Son, the mind of me, for solutions to the morass made of thee." Do you recognize that your life is a morass? Have no answers. There's unhappiness. You find yourself repeating over and over again the same problems that you've had in the first place. And no matter how many times you try to correct it, the same flops occur. That you can't get a solution to the things that you're concerned about. And God is telling you, you've got to make room for the mind of me to do it. He goes further. "Stop manifesting the mind of the mores, the values that you have been following all along by milling about in time." We're milling about in time, milling about, no direction, no organization. We're not getting out of it. And so God goes on, "If you can see this, all right, God, yes, I am milling about. Thank you for pointing it out. Thank you for making it known. Please, I ask you for help for this. Can you help me?" I don't care how you're going to pray it. But what you're doing is you're going after help from God, because only God can resolve this problem. That's this discussion that God is telling you. You've got to depend on me to get back what I made you for and made you of. Made of me, he's talking about this mind now that you really have. Made of me, that mind, thy mind would know ways of love. If you're not in that mind, you ain't loving and you ain't lovable. If you're not in God's mind, it is impossible for you to be loving. Do you remember Jesus stating in Scripture, at one point he says, "Love others as you love yourself." And then there's a shift. He says it a different way. He says, oh, wait a minute. He says, "Love others as I have loved you." Now the reason that he most likely had these two ways of saying it is he might have realized that if you don't love yourself and you're loving others as you love yourself, you ain't loving anybody because you're not loving yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And so he shifts the thing and he gives you a different demonstration of what love is. Look, love others as I have loved you. Well, it's a fair question at this point, if you're going with this and you're still tempted that you want this kind of thing, to turn to Jesus or whoever it is that you remember now, that calling God by a name that's different, you're of a different tradition, nothing wrong with it, but you're entitled to say, okay, show me how to do it. Or, I want that. Perfectly legit. Go ahead. Ask it. And then, of course, you're into prayer life, and we always suggest to you, when you're in prayer life, get yourself a support group of people who you know, who you see are manifesting loving kinds of lives, and ask them if they're into prayer, and whether or not there are small groups or they get together with you in order to help with this prayer. Because your human mind doesn't like what you're doing. It wants to keep you where you're at, and it will distort and trick you in every possible way it can do it. But God is saying to you, make of me, made of me, thy mind would know the ways of love. Loving means that you are willing to give yourself away to another person to help them find the same healing that you have found, and to find God for the assurances that God can bring. And you require nothing in return. Love is to just give yourself away. The giving away of yourself without requiring anything else in return is love. And giving to the hilt, because now you're not worried about death or anything. Even if you should get martyred or whatever it is, the martyrs go down because they know that they're not losing anything. They're immortal beings. And this is a fake-a-rooney life here in this world. They know that. And the joy is to know you're helping your brothers and sisters. That's what love is. To recover the same thing that you know, and to be in the kingdom in the joy that is there with each other in this perfect kind of love. God says, when you're doing that, whisper of me, my love, talk to me, made of divine beauty. What would you whisper to God at this point? What would you say to him? Hey God, I like what you're saying here about deliverance. Man, it's making sense to me. And I love you that you would even think of getting me onto this YouTube site, and the stuff is making sense, and you're getting me organized, and I thank you for it. God goes further now. Wait for me midst thy daily life. It's going to be practice once you begin to feel this love because you asked for it. So you're going to begin to feel it. People who you were angry with, suddenly you see them differently, that they're just lost. Or you're down on yourself and you need to correct this within yourself, that you're hypercritical of yourself. And it begins to disappear because you're saying, yes, 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 I want to see the me that's of you. I want to see that, I want to see that. Not only see it, you become it, because you have given God permission to return to you the awareness of this magnificent divine self, and it's going to get practiced in life. You're going to start to give it away. Wait for me midst thy daily life to make you manifest from me. You're going to give it away to help other people one by one. That's what discipleship is. One by one, you give it away, and they get prepared to give it away and give it away. And he concludes this statement to me. Made whole would be made of me to manifest the mode of me. You now would be made whole. This was God's statement to me. That was it. Long one, wasn't it? But he's setting me up. And now the issue becomes, okay, what would my reply be? Because I hear on the same date, number 107, verse 107 on April 20th, 2000, I hear a portion of me that starts talking to God. What this? That's coming through to me. It's not my human mind. There is a part of me that's in contact with God and that talks with Him, can hear Him and talks back to Him. And I hear my, I'll call it my soul being, or whatever part of me is aware that there is this relationship with God that I'm not aware of, but I can hear it talking. And now here we go on what that portion of me is saying to God, because that portion's in you. You ready? Here we go. Within me, I'm just made of dross, D-R-O-S-S, junk. This part knows that. Within the me, I'm made of dross, and I've got a heart of stone, and I am not the angel that would see this light. This knew it. My soul knows what a mess this human state is that is experimenting here. And it confesses this to God. There's a me inside me which isn't me, and it's made of dross. It's got a heart of stone, and it's no angel, and it doesn't see anything about the life that you're asking me to get into. And now it goes further. It says to God, I'm not made to be this way, holding off love. I'm not loved. By the way, are you in agreement? Do you see yourself with this stuff? Would you say that we're pretty drossy and we got hearts of stone, that we're unconcerned or uninterested, or we turn away from heart problems and can't get invested in it, or can't feel it, or turn away from ourselves even, and are down on our self-worth? This is what this soul sees. And if you do see it, yes, that's the truth of me. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for whatever is talking in me. Yes, I want to see this truth. That's what it's going to push you for. That's the reason for this interaction. You're made not to be this way. Thank you, God, for telling me that I'm made not to be this way, that there is another me. Because when I think I'm made to be this way, I'm in deep, deep trouble and very frightened, because I do not feel that I'm good. And I'm even wondering, boy, I hope you don't make a hell, because maybe I'm going there. It gets extreme. It gets extreme. And so he goes on, you're made not to be this way. And he calls this way a mayhem in morose ways. How about it? How do you like that wording? A mayhem in morose ways. You like that statement? Do you see that there's a mayhem? Do you see the moroseness? Do you see that you're down in the dumps? Do you see it? Well, we're going to continue with what further your soul says to God, and then we're going to find out what God says back to you and what He wants to do about it. Next segment, segment 3, coming up.